Yes, yes. Well, Jackson, good news for you. Better news for the audience.
What's up?
I want this one today.
Nice.
And I want it bad. We're 9 hours away from the start of the 2024 National Champion Missouri Tigers season in Columbia, Missouri.
I'm fired up.
And a couple hours away from the Cardinals and Padres playing in front of friends and family.
Less excited about that.
Okay.
But a nice little appetizer for the entree tonight that is the Racers.
And Lindenwood goes up against Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
It'd be cool if Mizzou got to play like Lindenwood as like that first game. I'd prefer it to be like a more local team. Just honestly.
Why do you hate Murray, Kentucky?
I got no beef. Shout out to 12.
Ja?
Yeah. Shot time. And I have no problem with Murray State in the vacuum, but I think it would be more fun. You know, there was a real brouhaha going on social media yesterday that actually almost caused me to delete Twitter altogether.
Holy crap. Were we taking shots?
No, I wasn't taking shots. It was just such disingenuous discussion that I was...
Well, I don't even know what we're talking about. I'm very pleased that I don't know what we're talking about. I think life's better when you're not involved in social media, personally.
And I'm viewing this from afar.
I don't even know what we're talking about. What's
So a guy from On3, Andy Staples, who does college football analysis, saying something about, basically saying like Missouri struggling. This was a week ago, saying Missouri struggling to sell out the Murray State game. This was before, of course, they sold it out. Was in part reason Thursday night game. This guy's
a national guy?
Mm-hmm. Part reason that they're playing like a nobody school to start the season.
But most schools play nobody schools.
And that's what Missouri, the contingent from Missouri, were saying is like, this is not unique to Missouri. He was just saying like, well, it's not local.
But yes, he was talking about because Drinkwitz's comments, I guess.
Yes, Drinkwitz's comments is what was the catalyst for this discussion. And then a bunch of Missouri people after they sold out were like dunking on this guy. And he was like, I wasn't saying.
Were those Tiger nationalists?
That was part of the contingent, but there was also people who are more good faith discussion people in there. But I don't disagree with part of what he was saying, kind of like it's going to be tough to get people when have high aspirations and the first game is against Murray State. But every other team plays similar FCS schools. It's just he's talking about like first game of the season. Right. And I don't disagree. Like I would rather them be playing a Power 5 school, but I mean, eventually you're going to have to play these guys. So I don't even know why I brought it up.
Yeah, it was I was like, oh, what do we have going on?
I thought it was like silly. I just thought people were not like listening to each other.
So this was like a big deal yesterday?
As much of a big deal as a couple people sending tweets back and forth can be.
Okay. Hey, you decided to lead with it, so I'm going, okay. If this is the lead, I'll talk about it. You have led this program now. For how many months, Jackson? 33 months?
I'm really bad at counting up years and then
12 plus 12.
Right. And now I guess 8 months in, so that would be 32 months.
Heading into our 33rd month.
And into
what are we going to do for
month?
the 33rd month anniversary? We got to do something.
33, get Larry Bird on.
Not a bad idea. My buddy Dr. Jack Neerman wore number 33 at St. Gabriel's.
Nice.
He played at Gianni.
Shaq wore 33 on, where did he wore 33 at one point? Maybe on LSU? I think at LSU.
Dale Brown's going to join us to talk about that. So that'll be fun.
I think at LSU.
So I like what Missouri does next year. Central Arkansas, tribute to Scottie Pippen to Opus, open on Saturday, August 30th. If they really do the Saturday, they'll probably do the Thursday thing again. And then on Saturday, September 6th, no Buffalo. Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
And that right there that's like perfect.
There you
second
go.
game of the season, you get a really cool matchup.
There you go.
That's a lot of fun, a lot of history.
You're going to get some SEC because they don't have another non-conference until October 4th against Louisiana's Raging Cajuns, not Louisiana State.
That's Lafayette. Louisiana Lafayette is the Raging Cajuns.
And, of course, this rivalry with UMass will continue. But the Minutemen and Lou Rowe and Marcus Camby have to come to Columbia on Saturday, October 18th. So you're going to get some SEC games on the 13th, the 20th, and then for my birthday on September 27th. I know that they wanted to do something for my birthday. And I appreciate that. Maybe I'll get Mississippi State or something like that, and Stingray can come. So, Jackson, the table's been set. I'm excited about you arguing with people from burners on social media.
I did not partake in any of this. I just saw it from afar. And again, I don't know like the full context of everything. I just saw Mizzou people dunking on this guy because they sold the game out.
So the dunk was that Missouri sold out the game against Murray State.
Yes, but he was saying
This was like a 6-foot rim.
he was kind of saying like, part of the reason that they're struggling to sell out the game is prior to selling out the game was the matchup. And then when they sold it out, people were dunking on them.
I guess I might have been in the minority on being on Eli Drinkwitz's side on his rant.
About fans showing up to prove that they're a top fan base, a top...
I don't know. I'm never into proving anything.
Well, something to prove.
I'm talking about me, and I'm not like, oh, good. I like when I understand it can be motivating.
Yeah.
But I'm not ever going to like say, hey, Jackson, why don't you actually really do 6 questions today as opposed to 3 and then act like you're reading over there to prove to me that you did say, no, you just do the job.
All right.
And you can, however you're motivated.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand where if you're going to be one of the top programs in the country and you want us to put it all out there and you want us, then fill the building. And then, we're going to have some butt asses. This is the way college football goes.
Right.
Missouri's non-conference schedule is not the byproduct of Eli Drinkwitz or Laird Veach or even Desiree Reed-Francois. This is something that you inherited from an athletic director, Jim Sturck, years ago. And now they're tending to it. And I think I think the playoff actually lends itself to schools going, we don't need to schedule just to get our 4 wins.
Right.
It actually benefits us potentially to get into the college football playoff by scheduling a great school outside of the conference, because if we win it, it's house money, and if we lose it, we still can get in.
Yeah, where it was kind of the polar opposite last year.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's just one of the many benefits.
So, great that they got Rock Chalk in 2025. Great that they got Murray State tonight, 47.5-point underdogs.
That's all.
And Linwood's a 45-point underdog?
Yep. I'm just excited to watch Mizzou football again. And I understand that my bias and my love for the team is the biggest reason for that. But just to watch the team again in a real game, football being back, they could play against anybody tonight, and I'd be fired up.
I'm excited about it. I think the first time I'll probably really be excited is the Boston College game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the first real test.
I think Boston College is going to be a test. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't take them lightly.
I feel that way. I hate that I feel that way.
Can't take them lightly.
Let's see. Deep voice dude with a weird fact. You were full of fun facts yesterday. Mizzou has never played Florida State in program history.
Is that right? Wow.
Maybe they'll play in the playoff this year after Florida State rattles off nothing but wins from here on out.
Florida State's percentage to make the playoff dropped precipitously, like 20% after that loss.
I would have thought it would have dropped way more than 20%.
It was like 36% before they played Georgia Tech.
Oh, yeah, okay. I guess
dropped like 13%.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. Yeah.
I think they got a trip to South Bend.
Yeah, they got to take on Boston College, we were talking about.
Boston College Monday night.
At the Doak.
I'm actually, I think as weird as this is, relatively speaking, almost as excited to watch Florida State Boston College as I am Murray State. I've done this song and dance before. It's like, I'm excited at 7 o'clock, and then like 15 minutes in, it's like, okay, nobody get hurt.
Yeah.
Let's go on. I'm more excited to watch Gabe's post-game show on Power Mizzou where he's taking phone calls.
Where people like Nate Noel will have like 15 more yards than Marcus Carroll, and they'll be like, Noel's the guy. We got to give him the rock way more.
I'm intrigued to see what the crowd's like.
Yeah,
like the energy. The raucousness of it.
Yeah, I think the energy is going to be outstanding. Yeah. I'm going to the Buffalo game next week, which is a night game. Still.
Where are you staying, at Schurz?
Gillette. No, I got a buddy up there, but I'm just excited to see like what the energy is going to be like, especially with a night game. Good tailgate weather, hopefully next week. That's the goal. TA
Hart 27 wants to know your Twitter handle. He says, anyone know what Jackson's Twitter handle is so I can follow him on there?
Oh, that's nice. At Jackson_Burkett, Burkett.
Is your Twitter a gift depot like mine?
A lot of quote tweets. During Mizzou's seasons, football and basketball, it's mostly just a Mizzou fan account, but not a nationalist account. And the profile picture is Jake Gunsel. So if you see that,
you're a big fan of his.
Well, I think we might share a lot of DNA.
Oh, really?
It seems like it based on his look. Looks just like I've had people like I show on my Twitter profile. They're like, that's kind of headshot. Is that your headshot? I was like, no, this is Jake Gunsel.
How do they not know Jake Gunsel?
Much like me, they're not Puckman. Not Puckman. It's how I grew up. Sorry.
I don't like it. Hey, are you going to do the trivia thing for Sammy Hagar today?
You better believe it.
10:45. What is our topic today for the Sammy Hagar tickets? We're only 2 days away from the show.
It's kind of weird that we're on Thursday of this and I haven't done this one yet. Movie trivia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Color me intrigued. Text in at 314-399-9646. Be the first one to get the correct answer. And you get Jackson's 2 tickets for the lawn seats to Sammy Hagar's sold-out show on Saturday at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Text in to win the free tickets. 314-399-9646. We'll do the trivia at 10:45. Or you can register to score the tickets to the sold-out show at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app. What's going on? Why are you giggling like a little schoolgirl?
Someone said, is that person in the YouTube chat a mole for Jackson so he can promote his Twitter? I like that. That was from Zam. I don't know.
Talk me through this, would you?
Yeah.
Because I've talked about this on the podcast, which you joined me on, the Tim McKernan Show, award-winning, where I had somebody not at Hubbard, but in broadcasting say, I am doing myself a disservice, I guess, for lack of a better term, by not engaging on social media. And I can't. I need somebody to basically run a P&L and then provide me with some semblance of a pro forma to get me to come out of social media retirement. What would you say to that?
I think because of our job.
What is the upside? Like if that was your bot in there, the Boston Market ad bot, asking for your Twitter handle, like what would the angle be? You know what I mean?
I just don't see it because of what we do. Like if we were in print journalism, I think it would be different because there's like that's kind of like a snippet of your work in a way. But when I
agree with that.
When we do broadcast radio specifically,
and nonsense, really.
Nonsense is what we specialize in, but sometimes we'll dip our toe into sports journalism. Is 280 characters on Twitter is usually not enough for nuance of opinion. Whereas when we get to do this show or TMA or the Tim McKernan Show podcast, we have a full slate, a full platform to give our opinions, give reasoning why, defend our opinion, and do it in a much more comprehensive way, where, as on Twitter, you kind of get stuck being a little takey sometimes because you only have so many characters.
You can have that, and then I think I got 2 things here.
Sure.
All right? Number one, it's not a level playing field in the sense that I am using my real name, and the majority of the people responding are not using their real name.
Right.
So I kind of got something to lose.
I got nothing to lose.
Right. And I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So there's that. And then secondarily, the people who are kind of more in our line of work, I feel like send out like bait.
Right.
Like, oh, look it's a beautiful night, and for whatever, that's whatever, and St. Louis is great, and it's like, okay, I got overhand play like at 14 or 15.
Yeah, been there. I think it's a little different I think you and I are a good case study in this way. Like, you built an audience before Twitter. I mean, Twitter was certainly a part of your life when you were younger in your career, but you kind of built an audience before Twitter. If you're someone closer to my age, like, it's a good way to cultivate an audience if you are on the radio in a way. Like, there is a way to be like, here's a clip of this, here we are.
I agree with that premise. Now, here's where I have an issue. I feel like because it is the reasoning is I'm going to try to build an audience, then therefore the opinions and or sometimes quote-unquote facts or actual facts are not necessarily done from a true place of belief or truth, and therefore not organic, and so it becomes performative to encourage engagement.
Yeah.
And therefore, the more hyperbolic the statement, the better. And so communication actually becomes disingenuous, performative, and BS.
Yeah.
So for the most part, the people in our particular industry, not necessarily like local, but the people who actually make a lot of money in our industry are the ones who say the most asinine things.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that's...
And I feel like Twitter, or social media in general, is the gasoline on the fire of the falsehoods and the exaggerated statements, giving platforms to imbeciles. Thoughts, concerns?
I think it's an easy trap to fall into, and I think we are now living in the experiment phase of if it's sustainable.
Because you think that we're living in a simulation?
Well, that's like we can go, I mean, we'll need 3 hours for that. But like, I think we're living in the experiment. Like, is something like that, building an audience based on that kind of performative trap that you can fall into, is that sustainable? Like, I think we're living out, is that going to be sustainable?
I can think of someone who initially started out in sports and has pretty much gotten away from it, who I believe is essentially performing. And I'm not saying this is the only person performing. I think across the podcast and cable news in particular, I don't think these people mean these things, but they know that they got their audiences in their bubbles, and so they give them their particular appetite.
Yeah, right.
For news carbohydrates, opinion carbohydrates, and people will eat them up, and they get to make millions of dollars, and God bless. But it's kind of like cheating in golf. Hey, if you can put your pillow, your head on the pillow at night, then okay. Right. But I just would feel, when it's all said and done, my honest opinion is the North Star for me. And I'm going to make this clear. I have no morals. I'm a godless pervert.
You worship the sun.
I worship the sun. I do. At 11 o'clock, actually, we're having a little service following the program.
Ra.
That's Ra. Yeah, capital R, please.
Of course.
But as far as doing this job, if I'm on here like giving a take that I don't believe in, if you don't mind, just escort me on out.
And I guess gets to a question that someone maybe more nationally would have with themselves. It's like, is it my job to deliver people what I think of a situation at any given time, or is it my job to feed them what they want? And I would...
But then be dishonest. See, that's the added thing that I have to... Right.
But I guess you could convince yourself that giving them what they want, regardless of your opinion, is kind of your job. I don't think that's the case.
Giving them what they want. No, okay, so there's a difference here.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We might not take a break today. I don't know.
We've been doing that recently on TMA.
Yeah, we did it 2 hours. We went from 7:07 to 9:07 on TMA today. A new record by like a comfortable margin. But what I'm saying, talking about what the people want to talk about is one thing, but then lying to them to give them what they want. You see,
that's the step. There. That's the step. That's the step. The leap of faith, essentially, you take in the opposite way. Like you are doing a dangerous disservice.
And that is where I feel like we are.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's the trap you fall into.
What they want, you have a lead.
Right.
What are the most people? I don't know. I guess people are still most interested in the Cardinals at this moment. I don't know. This is a very unique time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't sit here and say I think more people. Maybe I can actually. Are interested. If Missouri were playing a real operation tonight, there'd be no doubt.
Right.
It's a different deal with this thing,
Yeah.
It's like if Missouri were even playing Boston College tonight.
Yeah, it'd be different.
But, if they were playing A&M tonight, holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we'd be talking about, considering what the Cardinals situation is now. I mean, they might break a record for another low attendance here in a couple hours. So that tells you about the interest level.
Right.
But if I start just saying crap I don't believe, which in part will disparage people or an organization, I don't know. I can't put my head on the pillow on that one.
Right. Yeah. And I'm with you there. I think there's a fine line between that. And I think by and large, people go into it with one mindset of like, I'm just going to start tweeting, doing this, that, the other. And then you fall into the trap, because I think it's cause and effect.
That's why I don't, because if I were posting pictures on Instagram or Facebook, it'd be my family. I mean, that's all I got going on. Or like me working on putts.
Duck lips.
And when I'm in the rearview mirror outside of a bar in Clayton, duck lips, yes.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
But then I just don't have takes that I'm going to argue with a burner account. Like, why would I do that?
Right.
So I'm looking for you to sell me. You didn't sell me.
Well, what's there to sell? Like, what is the upside?
That's how I operate.
Yeah.
You give me the upside, you give me the downside, I'll give you the decision. Yeah. It's 10:25. I'm already late for 2 breaks. It's a balloon party, 101 ESPN. Welcome back to Balloon Party 101 ESPN. My name is Tim McKernan. That's Jackson Burkett. Jackson, the lineup is out for the St. Louis Baseball Cardinals, trying to split a series with the San Diego Padres in front of 6,200 people today.
Maybe that Arenado walk-off got him going last night, but I'll read the lineup to you presently, Tim. Leading off and playing short, Mason Wynn.
Wow.
Hitting second, playing left field, is Alec Burleson. Hitting third and playing third base is your walk-off hero last night, Nolan Arenado. Hitting cleanup and DHing is Lucan Baker. Brendan Donovan's hitting fifth and playing second base. Playing first and batting sixth is Paul Goldschmidt. Hitting seventh and playing right field is Lars Nootbaar. Catching and hitting eighth is Ivan Herrera. And then hitting ninth and covering center field is Victor Scott II. Sonny Gray on the bump for your Redbirds.
And the Padres have King going. Have
Yeah,
they,
Michael King.
Given their...
I can take a look.
All right. Well, it's not a big deal. I know you got this big question coming up at 10:45 for the Sammy Hagar tickets. Jackson's trivia, and it's movie trivia today. Can we give a genre?
80s.
Oh, I like this.
80s movie. Probably late 80s, if I had to guess.
Vice versa with Fred Savage and Judge Reinhold.
It's not vice versa. Matter of fact, Judge Reinhold is not in the movie. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, now that's going to limit the films.
And I'm just telling you, it's not going to. But I will say there's a Van Halen connection to this film.
Boy, I'm sitting here and I want to think through it, but I have an obligation to continue to talk. Puts me in a tough spot. All right, so we got the Cardinals coming up. The lineup is out. Missouri tonight. Rock Chalk hosting Lindenwood. They're not playing at Lawrence. They're playing where Sporting KC plays.
Because they're building the new facility.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, they spent big money on that. And good for them.
You ever been to that old Kansas football stadium? Odd building.
No, I've seen pictures. It looks like it's like it looks weird. It looks like half of it is like really small and the other half's huge. I didn't get it.
It's just an odd kind of Shea Stadium of college football. I mean, that's why they're getting rid of it. If it was so great, they'd be.
Right. They like that Lance Leopold up there, man, over there.
Spinal Tap, deep voice dude.
Nope.
This was Van Halen in that. Everybody's trying to beat your question before you can get it and then get the Sammy Hagar tickets.
Yeah. This one's going to be a little tough. It's pretty specific, but I think it's a famous enough movie that people should at least be semi-aware. At least semi-aware. I mean, you got to earn it. I'm not just going to give you what was the name of Don Corleone? What was his first name?
Vito.
Vito, exactly. That's too easy. So I'm going to...
I thought that was tough.
You really sweat over it. No, it's a pretty specific answer it's going to be, but it's a pretty famous movie, so...
People are texting in, better off dead.
Nope.
I mean, this is to my phone, too.
Wow. Sorry. Nope. But a very famous 80s movie by a very famous 80s and 90s director.
John Hughes.
That's who people think when they first think of the 80s. But this guy who made this movie, or several movies, is... Nope, he's a legend in the 80s and 90s. And still makes movies today, just not very good ones.
Wow. Boy, that's Jackson.
Yeah.
You get Jackson going on films.
This is what I like to talk
going
about.
on films or hockey, and you just kind of get out of the way.
Puckman and Philman.
That's right. Yesterday's question sucked. That's from MD 2020.
That's not. I actually heard back from some consultants, and they were like, the show stunk, but 10 out of 10 on the trivia section.
On the trivia question for Sammy Hagar.
Thank God.
All right, well, that's coming up at 10:45, so get ready. Get your fingers ready to dial in. 314-399-9646. And, of course, the YouTube chat where Deep Voice Dude, MD 2020, TA Heart 27, and Bacon Wrapped Wiener are all in there having a conversation with Don PB. And he just wants people to know he has no relation to Don Corleone. John Fitzgerald just guessed Bull Durham, TA Heart 27, Return of the Jedi. Uh-oh, looks like somebody just got it right.
No. I don't see a Van Halen connection in Return to the Jedi, unless one of the members
Did you
of
say
the
Return to the Jedi?
Return of, I meant to say.
That would have been great.
No, Return of.
Return to the Mac. Mark Morrison, 96?
That sounds right. I like that song. Return to the Mac. What was the other movie? I can't remember. It said Return of the Jedi or Bull Durham, not Bull Durham.
Okay.
But I love Bull Durham.
All right, fair enough. All right, Jackson. Well, this is coming your way in 11 minutes. Jackson's going to shine bright like a diamond. Mr. Nanny, Boston Market Ad Pod.
People are like guessing it, like the movie or the director. That's not the trivia question. So like I saw someone just say, "Booyah, give me the tickets." I was like, "No, there's a question coming here on the next segment." You might have got the movie right, but that is not the trivia question. It's just for you to guess 80s movies until you.
Voice Dude's adamant. Says Jabba the Hutt was playing Van Halen in his palace. What are you doing, a Chris Berman impression?
That was my job at the Hut.
Oh. All right, we got a break. It's Balloon Party 101 ESPN.
This is Action Jackson with a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals win last night in walk-off fashion. 4-3 the final over the Padres. They tried to split the series today. 1:15 first pitch against San Diego. Sonny Gray on the mound for the Cardinals. And tonight, the Missouri Tigers start their college football campaign in Columbia, taking on the Murray State Racers at 7 p.m. The spread is currently 47.5 in favor of Missouri. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Welcome back, Balloon Party. 101 ESPN, Tim McKernan, Jackson Burkett with you. We're 5 minutes away from Jackson's trivia question that will give away the Sammy Hagar tickets. Sold-out show this coming Saturday. What are you going to be doing on Saturday of Labor Day weekend?
Saturday of Labor Day weekend.
You have member guests at Log Cabin?
No member guests this week. They moved that to next week. They moved that to next week. Saturday, watching college football, that's for sure. Good college football. Clemson, Georgia.
11 o'clock kick. Disappointing kick.
Yeah, and then Notre Dame, Texas A&M at College Station. I'll probably watch the game, hang with my lady friend, just enjoy. It's going to be nicer weather on I might rain a little Saturday, but it's going to be at least a lot cooler.
I'm telling you.
It's hot out there, Timmy. It is hot out there.
Well, you know, you go out there and you battle through. That's what you do.
People will be battling through tonight when they're heading up to Columbia.
Fight, Tiger, beat, Racer.
Do you like a Thursday night start compared to like a Saturday start? Like if there's one game on a Thursday, is it okay for you?
If this were against like a team that, you know, was a different situation than Murray State, I would not enjoy it at all. Absolutely not. Well, you seem startled by this. Don't be so alarmed.
Well, Thursday night, it's not like, you know, it's not competing against much, you know. Saturday, at least there's like a lot of other college football games.
Well, I mean, if you want to go, it is.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Going to the game. Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. Yeah. They've done the Thursday night thing a couple of years in a row now. I'm kind of used to it.
They did it against Dak Prescott. He came in, skull pounded.
Yeah.
Did it against Nebraska. That was 2009, same night. The Matt Holliday drop ball, game 2 against the Dodgers.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And then, but not in Laramie when Kelly Bryant took his first snap as a Missouri Tiger. That was a Saturday night, and that was rough.
Not good.
Never again. Never, ever schedule a road game in Laramie to start the season. It's a terrible idea.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the same guy who's responsible for that was responsible for this.
And the UMass.
The UMass foliage trip. Jackson, do you have a question before we go to your Sammy Hagar ticket, but it's movie trivia?
Yeah, and Van Halen, there's a slight connection to this movie, so it all kind of works together. Well, I called this one A Tiger Place Day One. That's a nod to A Quiet Place Day One. That's leaving theaters as we speak, but I figured it was good for today. When you're looking at the first game for Missouri, what are some things that could give you an early indication of the season to come? This also applies to schools that are playing much more competitive opponents, maybe for wagering purposes down the road. What do you look for to be like, oh, well, that's something?
Zero. There's nothing. That's the honest answer. There's nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
The strength, I shouldn't say the strength, because that would be the biggest surprising strength, I would say, of Missouri when they were at their most impressive, which I think was November of the 3 months of the season in 2023, was the play in the trenches on the lines.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how you can be a championship football team, really, at the college level or NFL, without a great offensive line. Most underappreciated position in major sports.
Would agree.
Offensive line.
Would agree.
It's just imperative. I know they had Charlie Army on as they celebrate the greatest show on turf on the opening drive. That offensive line that they had in 99, 2000, 2001, I mean, good luck getting around those guys. And then that opens the door for Falk and Warner and Bruce and Holt and Hakeem and so on and so forth. So with all that said, that offensive line that was actually moving Georgia around between the hedges in November, dominating Tennessee in November, looked bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if I would say it looked mediocre. It looked bad against Middle Tennessee State to the point that Brady Cook was under siege. So not only do great teams evolve over the course of a season and improve, but I also wonder about the legitimacy of whether or not a coach decides to show what they really want to do when they have to go to College Station, I guess, in this case. Whereas last year, I think they were kind of sitting on the ball in preparation for K-State, which was the third game of the year. So, and I think that you do have to treat Boston College with more respect. And if Boston College goes down and beats Florida State or hangs with Florida State, I think that will catch people's attention more than maybe it's getting right now around here.
Yep.
Again, I say that because Boston College is returning a bunch of starters. That's my reason. I couldn't name one of them, and I haven't watched much Boston College football, I think, since Doug Flutie threw a ball about 55 yards in the air in 1984. And then I know Missouri had a trip there in 2021.
And went poorly for Connor Bazelak and the Tigers.
But, yeah, I mean, nothing.
Yeah.
That's the honest answer. And that's like, I'm excited to watch this, but I would imagine by 8:30 I'll be flipping around.
Sure. I think with the transfer portal being as robust as it is, you really can't take much from the first couple games because some guys take a little bit of time to develop into a system. You can do as many reps as you want in fall or summer practice, or spring practice, but it doesn't. Once you get in the game, that's when you can really tell. And you look at Missouri specific, their left side of the line is transfers, Caden Green and Marcus Bryant. Great transfers, don't get me wrong. Marcus Bryant getting not enough attention, in my opinion. But it might take them a little bit to develop into the system. It might take a while. And transfer portal is so robust that guys, quarterbacks, Will Howard's going to be taking over Ohio State. It might take them a second to get adjusted to it. So I think actually from a gambling perspective, there's opportunity when people over-assign value to stuff against some cupcake team.
All right, Jackson's giving out plays. So what is your play?
Oklahoma State minus 9.5.
Wow, there it is. Jackson has just released a 5-star lock of the year on Thursday, August 29th, 2024. Double your bankroll, and just Jackson, all he asks is a thank you note. That's all.
Not even that. Just some respect.
I feel like you have everyone's respect.
No, I'm Dangerfield over here. I don't get none of it.
Well, maybe you can earn respect with this trivia question for the Sammy Hagar tickets. Get your fingers ready. Have that phone number ready. 314-399-9646, Air Comfort Service text line. Somebody's about to win a pair of lawn tickets to Sammy Hagar's sold-out show this Saturday at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Text in to win free tickets as soon as you hear Jackson's question and you have the answer at 314-399-9646, or register to score tickets to the sold-out show at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to present the pride of Ladue, Horton, Watkins, Jackson, Bennett, Burkett.
So the 1989 film where I will ask this question about, Back to the Future Part 2. I want to emphasize that. Back to the Future Part 2.
That was in 89.
That was in 89.
Right, really?
That was in 89. And I also want to say that this answer could also be found in the first movie. And Part 2 has a Van Halen song in it. So I feel like that's my connection here.
Okay.
The date in which they travel into the future in Back to the Future 2 is also seen in Back to the Future Part 1 on the DeLorean dashboard there. What is that date?
Oh, boy.
What is the date?
I know it.
What is Back to the Future Day, as it's been coined by the media?
I'm going to text it to you because I don't want to say it.
What is the Back to the Future date?
I'm very confident in the month. I'm not as confident on the date.
So if you're starting out your text into the show with 19, that's wrong. This is when they go to the future, when Biff gets the sports almanac and is richer than.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, in case you missed it.
Do we have a correct answer?
Tim was you were a day off.
Wow. Well, I always go, I get a day or a year.
Right, so you're going to Sammy Hagar.
Yep, that's huge. Yeah, I'm going to Sammy Hagar, so that's a nice win.
Let's see if we have gotten the correct answer. No, we have yet to get the correct answer. I mean, I need a day and a month and a year. I need a day, month, and a year. A day, month, and a year. Still have yet to get it.
There we go. I feel obligated to talk.
One person is a day and a year off.
That's so helpful to the audience.
Yeah.
One guy out of 1,000 texting in.
Well, he's really close.
Yeah, but how does the person know who it is?
I know. That's the fun part about it. This is
the bad broadcasting part
No,
about it.
no,
Depends on your
nonsense.
perspective.
No, this is where so much so that my creditor's looking the opposite direction of and not listening because he didn't turn around there. We got the answer.
There it is. Unbelievable.
We have the
What
answer.
is the answer?
It's from the 314. The answer is October 21st, 2015.
Wow. Cardinals had just gotten done losing to the Cubs in 4.
Yeah, and a little behind the scenes knowledge, the person who wrote the movie picked that date because he predicted that's when the Cubs will win the World Series.
Wow.
It's just a year off.
Oh, good fun fact.
It's a year and some change off. So October 21st, 2015 is the correct answer. The 314 sent that in. Take a look at your phone. If you sent that text in, take a look at your phone. You're going to be getting the link here soon.
I think there's some frustration with the question based on what I'm seeing in here.
I told you it's going to be a little hard. But I gave you an 80s movies, so maybe you were thinking like, oh, okay, well, maybe it's Back to the Future. Robert Zemeckis being the director I mentioned, who was a giant in the 80s and 90s and has proceeded to make nothing but crap since.
Wow, Robert Zemeckis taking heat here.
Flight is great. 2012's Flight is outstanding. Outside of that, it's been kind of nothing.
Really? What's going on?
The little Welcome to Merwin thing with Steve Carell, that was drivel.
Somebody wrote in Billy Hoyle.
Billy Hoyle, White Men Can't Jump. That came out in 92, so not the case. Although I love White Men Can't Jump.
What's the tie-in with Van Halen?
There's a Van Halen song in Back to the Future Part 2. Good question. I just looked up what movies is Van Halen songs then, and Back to the Future 2 is one of them.
Boy, what a disappointment. Okay, though. Hey, Jackson, I gave you respect. I told you what a great job you were doing. Come on, man. It's from John Fitzgerald.
Did I say John Fitzgerald is not giving me respect? I don't remember those words coming out of my mouth, but now I might. Feeling good about this trivia. That was a good 4 days of trivia.
Yeah.
Felt like people were really into it.
They are. They were and they are. And I think you got your respect now.
You might have learned
I
something.
want respect.
Yeah.
I'm smart.
You sound like Veruca Salt when you start doing that.
Veruca Salt? Oh, the band.
The character in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
I once an Oompa Loompa, and I want one now, Daddy.
Yeah, it's kind of spot on. Did we ever talk about why the 4 grandparents sleep in the same bed?
It was just a swinger lifestyle.
I guess that's really weird.
Don't kink shame, brother.
But they spent all day in there.
Well, it was hot.
Bed sores. And why does Charlie Bucket have an American accent, yet they're clearly in England?
Are they in England?
It's a Roald Dahl story. He's English. It seems like Veruca Salt, and it seems like it's in England.
Yeah, but Cowboy Mike.
Oh,
he's American.
Mike TV.
Yeah.
I want to know what that meeting was like when they decided the character. They're like Mike TV.
All right, we almost got our last character. What do you want to do with the one kid?
Augustus Gloop.
Mike TV. All right, let's get lunch. Let's go.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, Jackson, we got one segment left, and then it's BK and Ferrario time. This is Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. All right, Jackson, this is it. Final segment. You got 4 minutes. How are you going to get people's respect?
I'm going to do a little bit of an observation deck. Will Pill's observation deck.
The observation deck.
Yeah, it's kind of turning into like the funniest thing I've seen so far today.
Okay, what are you going to say?
And The Athletic gets that W today because there's an article in The Athletic, and I'm just going to read the title, and that's the joke. Is the funniest thing I saw, there's an article in The Athletic titled Ranking the 28 Angels Who've Played Third Base Since Anthony Rendon Signed His $245 million deal.
That is well played.
that you could write nothing after that and just have that, and that's a world-class article.
They've had 28 different people play third base since he signed his deal.
20. Now, some of them, in fairness, have played like 2 or 3 games, if that.
Counts.
Yeah, 28 different Angels have played third base since Anthony Rendon signed his deal.
Has a franchise over the last 15 years spent more ineffectively than the Angels? Hamilton, Pujols, Rendon.
Yeah, I mean
that right there.
Right. I mean, Trout's worth it. And Ohtani, they were unsuccessful in trying to get him.
Yeah, I'm talking about actually dollars spent. Hey, but not fair.
No, I think that's an interesting question, though.
Well, of course it is. It came from my mind.
I feel like it has to be baseball, though, because there's no cap. You know, like if there was hockey, like the hockey Mets, maybe, but I think that the jury could still technically be out on that. Same with the Padres.
I mean, 2 of the players are still paying or pitching for the Astros and Rangers, or on the IL for the Rangers.
Certainly not ideal, but maybe, I don't know. Steve Cohen does Steve Cohen things.
Trout never plays anymore. It's OMD 2020.
Okay.
Grandpa Joe was one of those third basemen. That's from Splashback Deuce.
Might as well have been. Everyone else in the phone book was. 28 different Angels. And granted, he signed after the 2019 World Series for the Nationals. So it's not like it's been like 10 years.
That is correct. And he has a real distaste for the game.
Yeah. It seems pleasant, though.
Yeah. All right, Jackson, BK and Ferrario are coming your way here in a matter of moments. Cardinal baseball during the day at Busch Stadium, and then you drive west 2 hours and see the number 11 team in the nation. The Missouri Tigers host the Murray State Racers. You going to be there?
No, sir.
Where are you going to be watching?
Some sort of cocktail lounge with some friends. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where I'll leave it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Mally's?
Mally's?
Mally's.
Mally's? Is that like a different place than Molly's, or is that how you're... Okay.
Wow.
I thought you were throwing an accent. I can never tell. Sometimes you just go into random accent.
Oh, there's another anti-Irish thing.
No,
That's my natural dialect.
Yeah, that's right. So you often go into a British accent as an Irish guy.
Well, if I'm undercover to try and get him out of our land.
Right.
All right, we got to go. Time for us to shut it down. BK and Ferrario are up next for Jackson, Bennett, Burkett. I'm Timothy Michael McKernan. This has been Balloon Party, driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota on 101 ESPN.